Our true place to start then is Beings 101.
Yes.
Beings 101.
But the female has to understand that. She has to be the one that's taught. Because when you educate a woman, you educate the world. Because that's the first school, is the womb, the wise womb. Mm-hmm. So that mother needs to know which man will I allow to impregnate me.
Because
is he worthy of the impregnation of me?
Right.
So that you understand what children you're going to be producing.
Right. I do remember growing up, though, back in that time, they really didn't address it, but they did always want to know, well, who are their parents?
Exactly. But that is their way of addressing it. Because the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. When an apple falls off, a tree is huge. It has branches out here and even further beyond my arm stretch. Right. But when that apple drops, it'll drop right there. Now, it may roll a little bit away from the tree, but you're not going to find no apple 20 yards down the road unless somebody picked it up and carried it away from the tree. So whatever the tree is, the apple is. The essence of it is going to be there, okay? And depending on the fertilizer, the soil, how often we water it, whether we give that seed more love and attention, it's going to grow into an apple tree. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be strong. It's not going to be a tomato tree. It's not going to be anything else but an apple tree. If there is any blemishes in the tree itself, and that's been passed on, it's going to be diminished by the fertilizer or the soil that is given that seed. And this is what we have to start doing. This is why the Europeans said, bring me your young and I will raise them up in the way that they need to go. So when they're raising them up in the way that they need to go, they are implanting in your child what they want your child to do when he comes out into this world. Because if you come to my school and I raise you up, I've trained you, and what do they call you? A little monkey. So, and that's what they call the people that they can train. The ones who don't get a college degree and they can't train them and you're just out there doing a menial job, you're a useless eater. You just eat. So we just going to do whatever we want with you. But the monkey, I can train you. So a monkey can have one of my jobs. So you can come into my government, you can teach in my schools because I've trained you in what I want you to do. Right here in this little box. And you're not to know anything about yourself, but perpetuate the lie that I am giving you. And that's what the majority of us are. We're perpetuating that lie.
Continuously.
Continuously. And we're darn proud of it. And we're so glad to be working in this Europeans world. And it's wrong as two left shoes. Because anytime you are creating a society that's built on a lie, absolute lie, you know it, I know it, we may not know how to prove it, we know it's a lie.
Right.
Because in the essence of yourself, when you're hearing things, you say, how in the world would somebody want to put together a lightning bug and a goat? What are you trying to get out of that?
Right.
Or a lightning bug and a silkworm. Well, they're making jackets, bulletproof jackets, or they're making some type of new vegetable like the carrot. It's not a real vegetable.
Carrot?
It's a crossbreed. I forget the two. They've been doing experiments in crossbreeding our food for a very, very, very long time. Now in 2014, it's perfected almost. And they've taken the original seeds. When I was a little girl, we used to eat tomatoes like you eat apples because they were so good.
And red, rich red.
And the taste. Now when I eat a tomato, it tastes like I'm eating paper.
Right.
To me. Because I remember the original taste.
And the juice that would run out of that tomato.
You don't see the juice run out of the tomato when you bite into it. It's a thicker consistency of the skin. But if you've never experienced it, then our children are experiencing what they know. So what they know, even if they could have an original thought, is knowing from a lie. So if all I know is a lie, then my thoughts are going to come through that filter. And that's what we're up against. So when I see my people walking down the street and they walking like this, they're in pain, and usually they'll have tons of medication. Because if you're getting it free from the system can push it through that way. And when you write it, they know what you're taking, how much you're taking, and it goes through their paper trail. You're ingesting it, and they know that this is a black 58-year-old more female, obesely overweight, and she's taking all of these drugs. They know. They track you. And now they're getting ready to track you even more through your driver's license and your passports. So they'll know where you go, when you're going, and what you're carrying with you when you go where you go. Big Brother is alive. The only thing you have is your spirit. That's the only thing, and they're working on that. They're working on trapping that. In other words, trapping your mind and understanding how you think so that they can control you. And I believe that that's what all those shooters were about. Mm-hmm. All these random shooters. Oh, you get these people, all of a sudden everybody's doing that because they're looking at different personalities. And which personalities can I control? Can I control children who definitely have a mental challenge? Can I control an Asian man? Can I control a white man? Can I control a black man with all of their different characteristics? All I have to do is send out a signal. And we know that they work with frequencies all the time. But if I don't know me, and I'm experiencing something within my body, and I say, I don't know, I just feel something may be going on. I don't know. I may be the next victim. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's important for man to know thyself. So, in other words, for us to know thyself, we have to dig through all of the layers of what's been given you and pull up the essence of you. Leave that stuff alone and pull that out and start growing that. And that's what we have to do. That's what we attempt to do here at the Institute with people on a spiritual bent. Because we don't have the guns, we don't have the economics to turn this thing around. The only thing we can do it is with our spirituality. And they know a lot about our spirituality because they've been studying us longer than we've been studying ourselves, because they've been telling us, oh, you don't want to do that. And they gave us a religion.
Right. This
is what you need to do. And when we look, even though we may know in our minds that Jesus is black, I mean, and that's a more popular thought now, but when you used to look at that picture and you've seen that he has this long blonde hair and his blue eyes and a little red heart in the middle of his chest and was in everybody's home, mm-hmm. Subconsciously, when you saw that picture, you thought Jesus was white. Right. So when you see white people on the street, automatically your mind goes back to that picture. So it's a subconscious thing that you're thinking that he's white. And you don't think anything about it because it's normal. When we watch television, the same thing, that they're giving us subliminal messages through that.
Yes.
Yeah, then they have the smart meter on your outside of your house to know what it is that you're watching, and when you're watching, and how often you're watching. So the work that has to be done, and we can't afford not to listen to one another no longer, because we've been listening to them for a very, very long time. Very long time. There's things on the computer where you can pull up D white man, and D white man is saying, yeah, I take your woman anytime I want. You are still in slavery, but you don't know because you're getting a six-figure job, salary, and you think that you made it.
Mm-hmm. Stan the white man.
Yeah, that's him.
Stan the white man.